from my perch in the war room. My telephoto lens captured the chaos in the room across the street. Chips flying, Jamie flipping the table. The gig was up. I hit the rickety elevator, rode it to the ground floor, and kicked open the flophouse door, landing in the street just in time to see Jamie Dimon stumble and then leap up like a gazelle, taking cover behind a cargo van. "Jack, look out," he screamed. On the street were Rocco and some bald rat, the hitman I immediately placed. As my hand went for my hammer, I saw his sights were already squared on my chest. The target on my back had just moved to my heart. This was it. I'm a fair shot, but this rat was a professional. This was the end. The red purse. At that moment, something leapt on me. A tiger? An alley cat? I heard the hitman's gunfire, the bullet ripping straight through the tiger's back as we clung together heart to heart. As I slowly lowered the tiger to the ground, there she was, the red purse. She looked at me with big, soulful eyes, tried to speak, and coughed out, "Oh, Jack." Jack, as blood poured from her mouth. "I'm your da," and she was gone. The aftermath. Then I heard a low roar, though the world had gone silent for me. It was a cross between Rocco telling me I was a dead man and Jamie telling me another bullet was coming my way. But I didn't care. The sight of the angel in my arms took the breath from me. If we can't even keep something this beautiful, this innocent, in this world, then what's the point? I heard a shot and a grunt. Rocco, his face a mask of grief and rage, stood over the bald hitman who was now on his knees, clutching a bullet wound in his gut. Rocco's gun was smoking, having taken out the rat who'd shot his girl and missed the mark he was being paid to hit. He turned his gun on me. "I loved her," he snarled, aiming the gun at my chest. "And you being her father made me hate you even more." The final justice. Just as Rocco's finger tightened on the trigger, another shot rang out. Rocco staggered back, a red stain blooming on his chest. Jamie Dimon stood beside him, the small gentleman's revolver he carries still smoking in his hand. Rocco fell to his back, propped up on one elbow, his gun just out of reach. He groaned, "Damn it, Jack. I loved her, but I hated you more. I promised the family I'd kill you. Blood and loyalty, you know." He gasped another breath. "Why do you think I was so hard on her?" A panicked Jamie grabbed me by the arm. "Jack, this is bad. I've never killed a man before." I thought about it real hard for a moment. "And you still haven't," I said as I stared into Rocco's still open eyes. I looked at his still heaving chest and pumped 5 bullets into it. The weight of silence. The roar of the gunshots faded into a silence heavier than any I'd ever known. Rain, cold and relentless, began to fall. The city lights were a blur, smeared across the wet pavement, a watercolor of a world gone wrong. I stood there, a rock in the middle of a river of chaos, until my eyes found her again. I turned from the crumpled heap that was Rocco and walked to her. My hand found hers, her fingers already growing cold, her skin pale and waxy in the unforgiving light. The red purse, that damn symbol of a warning I should have heeded, was a cruel joke. I wasn't Jack Hammer, the cynical detective with a chip on my shoulder. I was just a man, a father, holding the hand of a daughter I'd known for all of 5 seconds. Jamie's plea. "Jack, we gotta go." Jamie's voice cut through my grief, sharp with panic. He was already checking the corners of the alley, his eyes darting between shadows. The other players, they're gone. They grabbed what they could and ran. They won't talk. The street'll be a tomb by the time the cops get here. My heart, a solid block of ice, didn't move. "I can't leave her," I rasped, the words catching in my throat. I can't just leave her on the street like this. Jamie, for all his swagger, had a look in his eyes that I'd never seen before. Pity and a kind of grim understanding. He laid a hand on my shoulder. "Jack, her family will take care of her. They'll take her home." A final farewell. The distant wail of a siren began to grow, a mournful sound echoing in the night. It was a countdown. A final, cruel buzzer. I looked at her, at the quiet peace on her face. My daughter. I bent down and pressed the first, and the last, kiss I would ever give her to her cold forehead. My lips trembled. I gently laid her hand back down, and stood. The sirens were louder now, closer, a hungry animal closing in. Disappearing into the night. Jamie nodded, a silent command. I looked at him, gave one last look at the girl who had changed everything, and turned my back. We faded into the labyrinth of alleys, the sound of the sirens chasing us into the night. Jamie's streets and shadows.
The world was a smear of wet neon. We moved through the night like ghosts with Jack at the lead. I jumped at every shadow, shied from every light. My own silhouette was a threat in the periphery. Every siren in the city was calling out to us. And with every wail, I felt the phantom weight of the dead man I left lying in the street. The cold rain was a poor distraction, trying to wash away the memory of his last breath. But it wasn't enough. It never will be.
Jack hunts for a den. I was a cat moving through a jungle, my nose to the air catching every scent. Jamie was a ghost at my side, his body moving with the restless energy of a caged animal. He didn't belong in this world, and I was the one who pulled him into it. We found a side street, and then a few more until we finally stumbled onto a bar. The kind of place with a neon sign that advertised something you couldn't quite make out. And a door that looked like it hadn't been opened in a decade. Sanctuary. A stiff belt for Jamie's jitters.
The streets and violence behind me were a nightmarish blend of shadow and sin. A twisted dance lit by a neon sign. A bar. Jack opened the door and ushered me into a dim table in the back. He went to the bar and came back with 2 double glasses and a bottle. He filled mine to the rim and said, "Here. This will help." I poured the glass down. As soon as the glass hit the table, Jack had filled it back to the top. As the soothing elixir began flowing through my blood to my bones, I considered the insane events of the past hour. What started as a game and the promise of a jackpot had cost me my very soul. My despair was thick, and Jack could smell it. "You'll be all right," he said. "You only did what you had to do." I pulled the plug. Jack was trying to soothe my soul, to give me absolution by taking my sins as his own. But I knew who killed Rocco. And Rocco's fate was sealed the moment I put my slug a whisper from his heart. I killed Rocco. Jack just made his death a few moments quicker. I'll carry the stone of Rocco's death for the rest of my life. But I'll never tell him that.
The lion in his den. We came across a gin joint. Instincts, I guess. Jamie was sick. The last hour had been a bitter poison, one I didn't think he could stomach. I grabbed 2 glasses and a bottle and started to pour the medicine down his throat. I did the same favor for myself, as the powerful prescription began to reduce the fever in my brain. I settled back as the volume on my muted thoughts began to rise. Jamie wasn't talking, and that was good with me. I didn't feel like talking either. I filtered over the last hour. I thought of the angel in the street, far too young to have had her wings clipped. I thought about all the missed tea parties, the birthday cakes, the dances, the prom. I had found and then so quickly lost so much. I thought of Jamie, how I had lured him into a world where he didn't belong. Was all this because of me? Am I to blame? Is the angel back in heaven because of me? My actions? Or is it just because I was born jackhammer? Whoever I was, I no longer am. I know change has come. Time to retire. I went to the payphone and called a cab. Me and Jamie left the bar. On the cab ride home, I assured Jamie he had done no wrong, that I had made the kill shot. And he believes me. But I know. Rocco was dead the second Jamie's lucky shot scraped his blackened heart. But I'll never tell him that. The cab was an old yellow dog, its engine wheezing with every turn. I paid the fare, plus a dime for good measure, and stepped out onto the worn concrete. The cabbie, a grizzled old man with a face like a forgotten map, tipped his hat before I told him goodnight, a whisper that got lost in the city's hum. The door to my office was a familiar friend, the key a silver promise, and inside, the stale air felt like a second skin. It was quiet, the dim lamplight like an old friend, hiding the dirt on the carpet. This place was home once. But old Jack died out on the street tonight, along with the angel and the two rat stooges. Jamie walked away, but a piece of his soul stayed behind with him, a wound that won't ever heal. This office, with its filing cabinets and its ghosts, was the only home I had, and maybe it was time to retire from this racket and find a new one. It's been a good game, but the price is too high. My hands, which had so often held a gun, now held a stack of papers, all the secrets and lies of a city I was done with. The names, the faces, the betrayals. I took every single one and dumped them on the floor, standing there for a long time just looking at the pile of my old life. That pile of filth had grown deep enough. That's it. I'm through. I cracked open a bottle and began to drink. As the morning sun began to trickle through the blinds, chasing away last night's shadows, I drifted off into a nightmarish maze of angels and demons, saints and sinners and those who blur the line. A twisted world from which there was no escape. The wake-up call. I was awoken from my fitful sleep by the clanging and banging of my obnoxious telephone. I knew what time it was. Past 10. The message service had started forwarding calls, which they always do at 10, and the night messages would get here about 10:30 by messenger service. A call this early meant something was important, but I didn't care. The phone was a tether, and I had cut the line. I was done. It rang again, a long, desperate wail that bounced off the dusty walls. I ignored it. 2 rings. 3. 4. I'd let it ring all day if I had to. For the clanging, a symphony of a life I'd left behind, was too much. On the 9th ring, I grit my teeth, and on the 10th, I lifted the receiver. Jackhammer, I said, the words a low, gravelly rasp I didn't recognize. My plan was to tell whoever this was that I was done. Out of business, through, but before I could get a word in, a voice answered. It was old and sweet, like a grandmother's, a voice that had no business on the other end of a phone to a man like me. Is this Jack Hammer? The voice asked, a soft whisper that cut through the ears. The Jack Hammer who lived on the streets of Old Town. My plan vanished. Old Town. The word hit me like a slap from a ghost, for nobody knew that part of my life. Nobody. Yes, it is, I replied, the words a cold, practiced reflex. How may I help you? This is Irma Bennett from Old Town. Do you remember me? Irma Bennett. Of course I remembered Irma Bennett, the mother of my first true love. The girl who took a sparkle to me when I was a young gangster running numbers for Claude Bronson. Angela Bennett. My mind began to wash backward to the summer we spent, but my thoughts were interrupted. Jack, can you meet with me? I have so much to tell you. So much I need to tell you, she continued. Well, yes, I said, but could you please tell me what this is about? She in turn said, no, I'm sorry, but I can't. This water is much too deep to go into with sandals on. Today is Tuesday. I'll be arriving by train to Old Town tomorrow. Could you maybe meet me Thursday? Well, surely, I said, but can you at least tell me? Her voice interrupted me again. No, I can't. Will you meet me at my sister Allison's house in Old Town? Here is the address. I scribbled down the address while she was speaking. Again I protested for more information, but she was adamant. No, this needs face-to-face. And with that, she hung up the phone.